So in today's video, I will be talking about 9 albums that came out in the month of October, specifically October 29th. That was a really big release day. I wasn't able to get to all those albums that came out. So I decided to put them all into one video. Something I hope to do like every month, as there are always albums I miss. So not going to waste any more time. I'm going to get right into it. But just letting you know, I've divided the reviews into chapters. So feel free to jump ahead to the ones you want, and if you open up the video description, you can find those chapters in the, you'll find them if you open it. Okay, first album I want to talk about is called Blood on Blood by the band Running Wild. They're a German metal band, and they were one of the original power metal bands. They've been around for a long time. They formed in 1976, first album released in 1984. This is album number 17. They've been around a while, so they're one of the pioneers of that pirate metal subgenre. But on this album, it's more straightforward, old school heavy metal. If you miss that like old Iron Maiden sound, this band does have that influence. The title track, Blood on Blood, starts with something that sounds like a pirate melody, but goes into some old school like Iron Maiden, like guitar gallop. The vocals are probably closer to a band like Accept. The song Diamonds and Pearls, another good song, has an opening riff. Reminds me of that like 80s Iron Maiden. It's a mid-paced rocker with lots of melody. And the last song is called The Iron Times, 1916 to 1948. And that sounds like a song that could have been on like Senjutsu. It's an epic song, 10 minutes long. It has that melodic, slow intro. And it's a song closer to that like modern Iron Maiden. But, I keep like mentioning that band Iron Maiden. But this band has been around for a long time. They do have their own sound, their own style. It's a good album. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. So moving on to the next one. Whitechapel, they released an album called Kin. This is album number 8 for them. They're a deathcore band. And on this album, they kind of change it up a little. So they incorporate some more clean singing and melody into like their brutal and heavy riffs. So for example, on the first song, I Will Find You, it starts with like acoustic guitars playing like a southern rock riff, but that changes quickly with the heavy riffs, the blast beats, and the harsh vocals. Anti-Cure, another good song, starts with clean guitars with an echo effect. Sounds like something from like a 90s alternative rock band. The intro melody sounds something like an old Western movie, and the vocals are very clean, but you do hear hints of that metalcore sound, or actually deathcore sound. And it sounds a little like the band Tool. And the song Orphan starts with some lightly distorted guitar chords and clean vocals. I kind of like the new sounds, as, deathcore, it kind of sounds the same after a while, and they like to change it up. Some fans might think they changed it up too much, but I thought it was pretty good. 8 out of 10 for me, so let me move on to the next. Next is Dark Connection by the band Beast in Black. They're a band from Finland. They're kind of like new on the scene. They formed in 2015, and this album, Dark Connection, is album number 3. The sound is hard to describe. It's heavy metal, but it has like this futuristic like techno music sound. The type of music you would hear in those old like Dance Dance Revolution arcade games, that's kind of what came to mind. The vocalist has like a very high and operatic range, kind of reaches those like Rob Halford levels at times. Now the song Belladonna starts pretty cool. It has like this new wave of British heavy metal riff in the intro, but they just start to incorporate those techno sounds and those high-pitched vocals. Their sound is probably closer to power metal. The album has 2 cover songs, Battle Hymn by Manowar and They Don't Care About Us by Michael Jackson. Those are probably the ones I enjoyed the most. This was just okay for me, so I'll give this a 7 out of 10. So that's that album. Next is Bad Wolves, another band new to the scene. So they became very popular. They did a cover of Zombie by the Cranberries. And I guess I call them a modern metal band. The new album is called Dear Monsters. Sound reminds me of that modern pop rock of a band like Daughtry, something like that. Does have like some heavier metalcore, sound as well, but the song Never the Same starts out with a clean guitar riff, followed by some down-tuned heavy guitar riffs, and that's very melodic. Some clean vocals mixed with the heavy riffs. Comatose, slow, creepy ballad, kind of gets heavier as it moves along, and the song is pretty good. It's kind of catchy. Springfield Summer is very different. It has like a modern country sound with a finger-picked guitar, and This album in general has a very like modern pop sound, but they do mix lots of like heavy guitars in there. So this album was just okay for me, 7.5 out of 10. Next is Black Veil Brides. They released their sixth studio album, and they have an image, they look like Motley Crue, like that 80s style, or a band like Poison. So I kind of went into it expecting like to listen to some like throwback hair metal, and what I got was kind of like a bland hard rock mixed with modern pop. So it's a concept album. The cover looks kind of like a graphic novel. That's pretty cool. Scarlet Cross starts off with a pretty cool riff, but the song starts to have like a very like modern pop rock sound. You know, again, I mentioned the band Daughtry. It kind of sounds something like that. Born Again sounds like 2000s rock, a little bit of extra heaviness in the guitar tone. Torch, that has a lot of layered guitar tracks, and kind of has like a very full sound, but it just has like a very melodic verse section. I don't know, this one I didn't really get into it. Let me know if you like this one. 6.5 out of 10. So moving on. So the next two albums will actually be EPs. So War of Ages, they're a Christian metalcore band. They released an EP called Rhema. So this band has 9 albums. This is their second EP. Only has 4 songs and it's 16 minutes long. The opening track, Sleight of Hand, it has a very fast beat and very heavy, aggressive vocals. They mix in some heavy, complex riffs, and they do add some melody in the chorus. Some clean singing in the chorus that kind of contrasts the heavy singing. Pyrite, very fast and brutal song. Heavy down-tone guitars, some keyboard melodies in the background, and the vocals are very aggressive in this one. There's some technical lead guitar work, and there are some clean vocals here, some melodic guitar solo with a neoclassical feel in the breakdown, and Unspoken has some really chunky riffs with some atmospheric parts. Pretty good EP. The songs were very good, 8.5 out of 10. So let me move on. The next EP is from Impending Doom. They are a Christian deathcore band. They have 6 full albums, and this is their second EP. Now, don't let this Christian label fool you. They're very heavy and brutal. Maybe one of the best like deathcore bands around. The EP is called Hellbent. There are 5 songs, runtime 20 minutes. First song is called Satanic Panic. Has some really crushing riffs, some very heavy drumming. Vocals are very brutal. They incorporate some of those like lead guitar melodies, and they kind of sound like sirens. And there are some super heavy breakdowns. New World Horror has a slow building intro, but the song is very heavy with some crushing riffs. The song has a very heavy breakdown, kind of opposed to that like Whitechapel album. You know, this EP is just straightforward deathcore. They didn't really experiment with other sounds. They're just brutal heaviness. Really good EP, really good heavy music. So I'll give this an 8.5 out of 10. So moving on. So lakor, they are a melodic death metal band from Australia. They mix progressive metal with melodic death metal, maybe similar to like old Opeth, but this band has very harsh vocals. They don't really do the clean vocals. Their songs are usually long, between 7-10 minutes. The album has 8 songs with a runtime of 1 hour. This is their 5th album. The opening track is called Locust. Long song, close to 11 minutes long. It has a very epic feel to it. The slow building intro leads into like a melodic lead guitar riff, kind of going into some heavy blast beats and some harsh, aggressive vocals. The foothold starts off very like fast and furious, and they don't really lose the melody at any time. The song has some great atmospheric parts in the breakdown, and this band is very heavy. They still incorporate melody into their songs, and their songs are very complex. They have a lot going on. It's a type of album you have to kind of give some time to digest. You know, you got to listen to it a few times, but it is very good. 8.5 out of 10. So finally, the last album will be Limp Bizkit with Limp Bizkit Still Sucks. I was going to do a full review, but I'll just tack it on here because, you know, I don't really have time to do everything. So the album took 10 years to come out. It's basically a band, they kind of became a joke, you know, so this band decided to run with a joke. And this album is just filled with self-depreciating humor, you know, kind of how the band is old, is still doing that rap metal thing, you know, that style of music popular in the late 90s and early 2000s. But I will be honest, I used to like this band. I do still like some of their older songs, you know, songs like Nookie or Rollin' or the cover of Behind Blue Eyes. You know, I'll still listen to them at times. Fred Durst, somebody who has always been kind of annoying for me, but he is who he is, and he lets that known. Album is very short, about 30 minutes, and the songs are short. So the lead single, Dad Vibes, kind of filled with self-depreciating humor, kind of brings back their old sound. There are a few ballads, Don't Change and You Bring Out the Worst of Me. Very cheesy, but also kind of catchy. The song Love the Hate is like a rap battle, similar to that Korn song, Keep It in the Family, which also had Fred Durst, by the way. Has lots of rappers kind of like insulting each other and insulting Fred Durst in the band. Empty Hole, that's actually a decent song. It has like this 90s alternative, like acoustic rock sound. Pill Popper, another song that's pretty good. Kind of, they explore that like heavy grunge sound. Snacky Poo is a rap song, and they're kind of like trying to like do like an Eminem kind of sound. This song is okay, but there's like a really annoying interlude afterwards that you'll probably just like skip it. And I don't know, I guess I'll call this album a guilty pleasure. One of those like so bad it's good kind of albums. So I'll be generous. I'll give this a 7 out of 10. I think it's kind of fun, but it does kind of get annoying after a while. So that is all. Let me know in the comments what you thought of any of these albums. But tomorrow we'll have an anniversary review of Mob Rules by Black Sabbath, celebrating, it will be 40 years now. So I know I've done a video on that a long time ago, but that was like about a year ago. So I'm going to update it. So thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow. Check out some of the other videos right there. And thanks for watching.